Liam, only one place to start really, and that's Daniel Harvey. Great news, I think, for the club, for him, and for the fans.
Yeah, great news. First and foremost, it's great to see him back playing. Obviously, missed pre-season and the first few games, so to see him back, in the last couple of games has been really good. And then look, it's terrific. We've spoken a lot over the last few weeks around, making sure that we safeguard and look after the short, medium, and long term of the club. And when you look at it with Was signing, then Dan signing, it's obviously terrific for the club going forward. So he's huge for the group. His character, his drive, is massive. So delighted that he signed and thoroughly deserved.
He appears to me to be a winner, somebody that doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to lose the ball. He doesn't want to lose a match. He probably doesn't want to lose, anything, a game of any. He's one of those people that just is so driven by success.
Definitely. I mean, the game Tuesday, we come in after the game, and he's obviously not even in the squad, and he's ranting at the officials as we come in. Just because of that, he wants. Dan's very much. He wants fairness. He wants honesty. He wants to win, and that we have to have that. We understand that. It's about progressively getting better. It's about development, but ultimately it's about winning as well, which is huge. So having characters like him and some of the other guys around it that are desperate for it, it's massive for us in the culture that we want. So he's key to that. He's pivotal in what we're trying to build here.
And hopefully no red cards this season. And hopefully no red cards. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
and definitely not for handballing it in the box.
No, no,
So
that's absolutely
definitely
not.
no penalties.
It's one of those questions that if I don't ask, I know Toby will, because transfer deadline day, you done and dusted.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love those simple answers. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, look, you've seen how busy we've been for such a long period of time now. So again, I was always conscious if we could get as much of it done before today as possible, purely from the fact that that you don't want to be panicking on today trying to get last minute people done. So the targets we identified throughout since since the playoff game, which was however many years ago. So once we got that done, it was kind of knowing what we needed to build in the squad, and we've worked hard to get that done. So not expecting anything today.
Just a little update, and I know that we do this not every week, but every now and again, just to find out how the three players who are out the side at the moment, how they're getting on. And I know Mo Ice's update is probably, yeah, he's getting closer. Is there been any development? Is he heading in the right direction? And we know it's a long term one, but is he heading in the right direction?
First, there's no need to come for me on how I answer questions, Luke. Do you know what I mean? No, Mo's back on the grass. He's running on the grass. With that type of injury, it takes time. You have to get back into, you just have to get back to running, which is first and foremost a challenge in itself. When you've had the injury that he's had. So he is back on the grass. He's around it. He's not joining in any sessions. He's not doing any football work. It is all 1-to-1 at the minute with the physio. So it's nice to see him back out on the grass. I have to say, commend him, hugely, and he stayed really positive, really upbeat. Still brings, he's such a big personality. Mo, he still brings that, in the meetings, in and around the changing room, and now he's back out on the grass. So great to have him back out on the grass, but he's still quite a way away.
How's Teni Watson getting on?
Teni's progressing again with obviously the surgery he had. It's going to be a quite a period of time. So the brace is off. He's progressively increasing the work that he can do. But he's still someone that we won't see for quite a while.
And Josh is getting closer, I believe.
Yeah, Josh has started to join in bits of training this week. So not available this weekend, but he's getting closer. He's done bit parts of sessions. So the good thing is with the program, what we've got coming up in September is actually we can get him some training load in as well, which was a challenge with some of the guys in August because obviously it was just game after game. So he's getting a lot closer, which is good news to have him back as well.
Just on not so much on Tuesday night, but basically the question based around Tuesday night. I guess looking at the way that you talked about it post match and some of the players that were involved, I guess there's a psychology element here where they have to be allowed to get things wrong. It's a culture. You talked about the culture. It's a culture that has to be developed. That they have to feel that they can make mistakes to be able to develop. It's a balance, isn't it, between you wanting them to do the right thing, which is obviously all the time, and the fact that that's simply not going to happen, especially for some of the footballers early in their career. It's about just a judgment call.
Yes, Tuesday was a It's probably frustrating. I know the players were frustrated first and foremost. They went away. They were, we had a chat about it today, and not carrying any emotional hangover from Tuesday. We have to learn from it, park it, and move on very quickly. And look, I thought the biggest thing that the players know that we'll support them. They know we'll coach them. They know they can step on the pitch and mistakes will happen. It's probably more so the manner of the mistakes. I'm okay with mistakes if it doesn't come down to sloppiness or being careless or not doing some of the things that they're asked to do. And that was probably the balance of it. I thought there was some. I thought we finished the first half strong. We started slow. The last 15, 20 minutes of the first half, we got some control. Brooke looked quite direct, the bits we spoke about after the game the other night, and then second half it just became a bit passive, just a bit sloppy, which is, mistakes are fine, but sloppiness isn't, and that's probably the biggest thing that, we've spoken a lot about as a group. And it's not easy. I think I'm also realistic and understand that, if you're not in rhythm, if you're not in momentum, the volume of changes that are made going into the game, that's not easy. But the bit for me that, the challenge is when it's not quite going right, who's the one that steps up to really go and grab it and own it, and that'll be the challenge, in that situation in the future, because we will have another game like that, I'm sure, at some point this season where it's not clicking, it's not quite right, the flow's not quite right. How do you then get through them moments? And it comes down for me to being hard to beat and having really high level basics.
Just said to Daniel Harvey, you're getting these long trips out of the way nice and early in the season, aren't you?
Yeah, it'd be about 25 hours and a coach in a week, I think, in 9 days. So, yeah, thanks to whoever obviously organised the fixtures. Really good thinking on that front. But look, it's one of those. Everybody has to do it at some point. Geographically, where we are in the country's, not a bad thing. So I'm not going to sit here and moan about some of the trips we have to do when I look at probably what Exeter have to do. So, from that angle, it's one of those. We've been careful with the work we've done this week and how we've managed certain players. In order to be ready to go and have a long trip and make sure that we go and perform as best we can.
And on Exeter, they've started well, haven't they?
Yeah, I know Matty Taylor quite well. We did the pro license together, so he's someone I speak to regularly. Really good guy who's done a terrific job there. He's done an outstanding job. If you look at when he took over, it's not easy following someone that he did who'd been there for a long period of time. So to go through the transition and continually being around the playoffs, continually sell players, and then obviously get the promotion that he did. He's done an outstanding job, and thoroughly deserves it for the type of person he is and how hard he works. So I know exactly what we'll be walking into, an extremely tough game. One that we have to be at our maximum in order to get something out of.
Thanks, Tim.
Nice, easy one for me. You've got, obviously, we mentioned a couple of weeks ago the leadership qualities that Warren O'Hora has, and it feels like Daniel Harvey has a similar sort of presence in the dressing room. At 24 years old, that's massive, isn't it? To have characters like that and players who are so young but still feel like senior players in your side.
Yeah, huge, and I think we have to look at the culture that we create, and the staff, how they've worked with the players, to empower players to step up and drive it and lead it and have a voice, and feel confident enough to do that, because especially now, I think it's actually one of the harder qualities to find in young players and people coming through, is to have people that are vocal, that are driven, that speak well, that actually engage their brains and use them. So I think when I look at it from that angle, we've got some terrific players that are willing to step up and be brave and try and own aspects of the program, because I think the second you get that, when you step on the pitch, the transition of the game plan happens a lot easier. So they're two great examples of players that have still got more to come, I think, in their careers, and that will continue to improve if they keep their the work rate and the attitudes they've had so far. And I think that's the exciting bit, is that they're 23, 24, him and Was, and they're only going to get better if they keep doing what they're doing.